here to help shed light on the subject. I am pleased to introduce you to my guest today, Mrs. Qiana Crump. Qiana is the COO for Jewel Premium Sanitary Napkin and Six Star LLC. Through these initiatives, Qiana is helping women live their very best lives. Qiana, thank you so very much and welcome.
Well, thank you for having me here today. I'm excited about being on Code Red.
Awesome. We're thrilled, really thrilled to have you. So each week, as we're having these conversations with these women, we hear a lot about the challenges that women face. And we also hear them talk about the products and things they didn't know while they were using these products that's off the shelf.
Mhm.
So, my first question to you is, what was it that led yourself and the other officers of the organization to start the Justice for My Jewel campaign? What were you seeing or hearing?
Understood that we were uneducated, and it's something about men. They should not just be educated on the time of our cycle, like how many days, right?
Right.
But rather the entire experience of what we're experiencing, the unhealthy moments and not just the amount of days we're on a cycle. It should be something you're aware of, right? And so even if it's not a lot of information as a wife you want to share with your husband, they need to know what you're going through. And so I believe that's how the platform of Justice for My Jewel was created, because we were both, my husband and I, were looking at each other uneducated. I was looking at my daughters as an uneducated mother about other options that they could use, that something that was healthier for them to experience. And so I believe that, we are excited about what we have, being able to offer a healthier product and then a platform to create education for women.
As COO of the company, what kind of response or reaction have you received about the Justice for My Jewel campaign? And has it surpassed your expectation when you think back to those early days? What has the reaction been? And has it surpassed your expectations?
It's been amazing. I can honestly say I've heard stories that I would never think, that people are actually experiencing. We understand the different stories that women go through, different, listening to women with their different challenges of being able to get pregnant and have kids. But when you talk about women getting their lives back, their marriages restored in that area, that's kind of different, because then we have a totally different situation. Women are not having the painful experiences, as they were having before. Women, they just go through, their life in pain during that time. Some women long cycles are longer than others. So when you have women who have irregular cycles, whether they're months, days, just adding just all the different complications that women experience, giving them a healthier experience.
Absolutely.
I love it. You can't, some of the testimonials that we hear are absolutely amazing, but I think to have the product, to have women experience the product and they're getting a positive experience from it, something healthier, where it's even helping with the aroma. For some women, it's lessening that. We have women that use our product in all different forms, in their shoe and, on my back and, all these different things. But just to know that it can help her cycle, for some women, it can help her be regular, right? It can help her when she has an irregular cycle where it's going for days. It helps with that. So for some women, it's helped in some major ways. But to have marriages restored, that's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, again, as we talk about the men before, I'm sure the men are a lot more happier to have their wives back from that perspective. And one of the things, as I've done research on this particular topic, is there's still places and environments in which women are isolated or required to isolate themselves. So when you have a product that can help to keep them with their families and keep them doing the things that they love to do, I think that's great to support that. When you speak to women, and you mentioned earlier that you've heard tremendous stories, when you speak to women and hear those stories, and as you touched on about how it's impacted you, what's the biggest thing in addition to what you just shared that touches you the most And or is there a particular story that when you think about it, it has left a deep imprint on you as you've heard from these women and think about how this campaign have come to life and is changing lives?
Absolutely. When I was about, 16, 17, I had a girlfriend. We were really, I mean, my best friend. She was put on birth controls before being sexually active, before even thinking about being sexually
Wow.
active, but she was 17 years old. And so now I hear the stories of girls being introduced to birth control pills at 12 and 15, as that early. It literally, that threw me. It literally did something totally different. And I'm thinking, why would that be something that's offered to a young girl? Like, I'm talking about 12 years old. And it's because of the cramping. It's because of the pain that she's experiencing during that time. So this is what's offered to the parent, to the mother, to give her daughter birth controls at 12 years old to help her with the cramping. That was a totally different story for me. That became, like more of a mission to be able to educate these women, right? And then to have these young girls, to have Jewel as their first experience, right? And so this would help them, because when you understand, the birth control and putting a young girl on birth control pills too early, what that can do for her long term when she's ready to conceive. I mean, that just totally touched my heart. I looked at my girls and I'm thinking, to introduce you to birth control pills at 12 years old because of the experience. I get the painful experience you're having,
Right.
but to offer you this, right, which is going to add more to your life long term when you're ready to conceive. And so that same girlfriend, she wasn't able to have a son, my godson, wasn't able to have a son until she was 42.
Oh, wow.
She was married early on, could not conceive because she had been on birth control pills for a very long time due to the painful cycles that she had.
Right.
But then it brings on a totally different story for a woman. So to have women to experience just a totally different experience for their cycle. So that's just part of it. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. And from your vantage point as a leader
Mhm.
behind this campaign and the Jewel product, and you've touched on it in terms of how it's changing women's lives. But what is it that makes Jewel, the product, different? Or why should women watching this video or maybe on Facebook Live with us, what is it about the product that they should be thinking about and saying to themselves, I must try this product?
Hmm. Great question. Women made a decision on Jewel. And I like to say, I've heard women say it, but I'm like, that's something that should be screamed just louder. That women made the choice of whether, this felt comfortable. Oh, this kept me more dry. Oh, if I could have, just a longer or extended coverage here. Oh, if I could have wings, liners with wings with just a little absorbency. So Jewel was designed by women. It is for us, but it was designed by us. We did a feasibility study early on before we actually launched the product. And we had a chance to have some women to experience, some different samples of something that we were trying, and oh, let's try it this way. But these women gave us feedback on what made them comfortable, what kept them dry. Again, the coverage, oh, the wings, all of that. And so that's why I'm excited about it, because it was actually designed by us, for us.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And throughout this, in terms of post feasibility study, do women still have a voice in the product? Are women still able to sort of come back and share their experiences, and that is still being looked at to help make sure that this is the best product that's possible and competitive with,
Mm.
if not better than what they're using today? Would
Oh,
you say
absolutely.
that's true?
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. And you know what's exciting about it? Not only do they have a voice in that to absolutely make it better, right? A superior product, and that's what we feel we have, but we have so much more that's coming in the Jewel product line, and I like to say, even when we talk about the name Jewel, and it's something for the men as well.
Absolutely.
because what I understand, we do have men that actually use this product for different reasons, but just to know that there's something coming down the line even for them, right? And
Wow.
so I look at, and God looks at all of us as his Jewel. But the Jewel line will have more products coming down the line. Some things that women have already, expressed that they need, they see a need for, they see a want for it. So we're sampling some different things now. So I'm excited about all the different things that's coming available for the Jewel line.
And one of the things, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things as you talk about the line and
Mm-hmm.
what's coming down the pike and trying to be or wanting to ensure that you're being inclusive, which is how I take the answer you just gave. As you think about that, one of the things that you do get on the website and look at the product, you will see something that's not in the product line.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share with us what's not in the product line and what you won't put in the product line and why? And I'm thinking specifically of a particular item or product that women use today that
Mm-hmm.
through the campaign, they're educated to think differently about.
Yes. So I had the pleasure of attending the event not long ago, and we had a gentleman that was actually sharing our campaign, and I'm excited and I'm thankful to all the men that literally stand for our campaign, because his brother gave an amazing campaign. Presentation. He talked in depth, and then when he got on the subject of that one item, and he talked about how this would not be safe, for a female. It's not safe to use, for a female, and say, hey, do your own
Yes.
independent research on that product. And we still had women asking, well, can you develop a healthier one? There is no healthier. There's not a healthier tampon.
Yes.
And I'm going to be honest with you, because it is what it is. You have women that say, well, I use one that's 100% cotton. It's where it's used, right? And so a pad is designed to stay outside where it's safer. It's safer that way. I understand it's different for some women who come accustomed to wearing a tampon, but a woman should have that time of month to cleanse her body properly. That's what it's designed for. That's why you have that cycle, because it actually brings your body through a cleansing process, right? And so if you're using that item as a plug, as a stopper, you will never have the proper cleanse of your body that entire month. You'll never have it, because one, you're allowing all the bacteria, all the different things that comes, during that time of the month. You're plugging all of that, all the toxins from the different products that you're using. You're just plugging it all back into your body. So no, we will never have that product in a part of our product line. There's not a healthier option of that product. And I'm going to be honest, anything that you insert in your body for a long period of time, it is damaging to the walls of that area. The walls of that area is extremely sensitive. You can tear the lining, damage the lining of that area. So no, we will not create a product in that manner.
Thank you. Thank you. What is your vision of the future for the Justice for My Jewel campaign and the Jewel product?
Well, I know, we talk a lot about, how can I say, about the culture of Justice for My Jewel, or, the platform of it, but it's literally raising young girls in a culture of Jewel, right? In the product of Jewel. We see the Jewel brand becoming, again, the first experience that many young girls will have, their very first experience. And there's something about young girls. We had an individual who did a presentation for young girls at school in a program, and they talked about how excited they were to, they wanted to purchase the product right there, because they actually were able to see the demo. And it's something about when you make that impression and when you educate the young girls on that product. We have women who are past that stage in their lives. And so they may wear the liners, right? But they don't have the experience anymore. And some of them have totally forgotten about the experience that they had, right? And so when you find young girls being raised in a culture of Jewel and being able to participate in all that we have, even, not just the fundraiser, but then we have the 5K, them being educated on being able to do, oh my God, an essay, raising them in the culture of what this product has to offer, and educating other young girls. Because again, we have women that are past that stage in their lives. And I think some of us, we've forgotten that we actually know other mothers, right? Who have young daughters, or now granddaughters, who they can share a healthier option, that they may never have to experience the different things that we have. That's where the brand of Jewel going. We're going to raise girls up in the culture of Jewel and Justice for My Jewel.
Amazing. You can learn much more about the Justice for My Jewel campaign at jfmj.org.